And Omicron, that is the name of the new strain of COVID-19, which experts are calling the worst one we've seen so far, has been declared by the World Health Organization as a variant of concern. They classified the new strain as highly transmissible and suggested it could pose greater risks than Delta, which is the world's most prevalent variant.
Well, early evidence suggests that Omicron has an increased risk of reinfection and may spread more rapidly than other strains. Several pharmaceutical firms say they're working to tweak their vaccine, with manufacturers studying booster options for the new strain. Well, response to this has been rapid, with travel restrictions introduced in the UK, the EU and the United States on visitors from southern Africa. So far, there's been one case in Belgium, but none so far have been found in Britain.
Well, this will have a severe impact on the travel industry, which has only just started to recover from restrictions. We can speak now to John Fraser. He's a travel writer based in Pretoria in South Africa. A very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on the show. Look, here in the UK, our health secretary yesterday stood up in the Commons and praised South Africa for its transparency in alerting the international community about this latest variant. And of course, it has huge implications for the country. Many people describing it not as Omicron, but as the South African variant, which in itself carries a little bit of negativity. How is South Africa feeling about this morning?
Well, the reaction from South Africa has been essentially to say there was a knee-jerk reaction by the British. The science is not clear. It's not even clear whether this variant did actually start in South Africa. It was detected here, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was born here. And the South African travel industry is reeling. It's on the ground. It's been mugged. We went through many months of being on the red list of Britain and many other countries, and it's only a few months ago that we were let out, so to speak. What we're seeing now is that the man is lying on the ground and is being kicked in the stomach by this new red list restriction from Britain, which, of course, as you know, has set off a domino effect in many other countries, the US, many European countries, and so on.
It's really difficult, isn't it, John, because it is so strict in South Africa in terms of your restrictions. Face masks are still mandatory in public, aren't they? And there is still a cap on gatherings as well. So does it feel like it's a bit of an unfair blacklisting for South Africa in terms of flights coming in and out?
Well, I can understand the logic, because South Africa has had a slow and rather ineffective vaccine campaign. I think only about a third of the country are double jabbed. There's no sign of booster jabs being offered. And if you go to a mall, if you go to any sort of gathering, there are still some permitted church services, for instance. You will find that a lot of people aren't wearing their masks rigorously. Social distancing isn't being observed as well as it should. And we just had Black Friday. And if you look at the crowds in the supermarkets here, what could be a better super spreader event?
Well, I've got personal experience of the chaos that's being wreaked by these travel bans, in that I've got family in Botswana who are now struggling to get home. Of course, they don't want to go into hotel quarantine here and just trying to work out their best plans. There will be lots of families like mine who are questioning whether or not they'll be able to be back together for Christmas, and a bit of a headache for travel experts trying to work out the jigsaw puzzle. What have been the possible solutions that you guys have been coming up with?
Well, my best advice to anyone who's travelling to South Africa or anywhere else during these troubled times is make sure you have insurance, because hotel prices are very expensive. You've got to eat, you've got to drink, hopefully a few glasses of superb South African wine. And if you can't get back, you're in trouble. And we've seen already yesterday and starting again this morning, queues at the airport. Flights have been cancelled. A lot of flights have been cancelled. People are scrambling to get out of South Africa, and even the ones who succeed are then going to have to face very expensive quarantine. So a lot of holidays have been ruined. Plus, of course, there's the business travel, and of course, South Africans. Many of us have family in the UK and elsewhere, and like to come and see them at Christmas, despite the rotten weather.
And John, what about those working in tourism in South Africa? I mean, Christmas is obviously such a busy time for safaris. 90% of safari clients, I was reading this morning, are international visitors. I mean, this is going to have a huge impact on the travel and tourism sector, which was already on its knees and only just about recovering.
You're entirely right there. The South African tourism industry has suffered badly. There was a time when I, living up in Pretoria, close to Johannesburg Airport, was not allowed to cross a provincial boundary to go down to the coast. So South Africa's travel industry was battered by our own lockdown. It's a little better now, but I know a cabinet committee, a sinister cabinet committee called the Command Council, is meeting today, and we strongly suspect the South African president will tomorrow night go on television to announce new restrictions within South Africa. The industry is in terrible trouble. Guest houses have closed. I know some superb restaurants have closed. The wine industry is in terrible trouble. So all I can say to your viewers in Britain is, if you want to do South Africa a favour, get rid of that French muck at Christmas and have South African bubbly and one of our fine reds as you celebrate.
John Fraser, you're doing your absolute best there. And look, I have friends who are due to fly out to South Africa for Christmas in the next few days. I've got friends with family also in South Africa trying to get back. And as I say, my brother in Botswana. So lots of families this morning disrupted by this. And of course, real shame at this time of year as well. We wish you the very best, John Fraser. Hopefully this will be a temporary thing.